And welcome to another test ride video on my channel. My name is Marshall3498, and today's test ride I am on a 2021 Honda Africa Twin, the standard version, and it is also the DCT. This is my second time being on DCT. I originally ridden one of the 2019 Gold Wings on their first year of redesign. First impressions are, for a 520 pound bike, I believe that's what the DCT is. Some of the specs on this review may not be perfect. If they're not, please don't hate me in the comments too much, but I'll do my best to give you some general specs on what the first impressions are. Is mainly what mine's about. There's tons of stuff out there on specs, but big shout out to the Southern Honda Power Sports here in Chattanooga, who allowed me to demo this bike. Most of your Japanese motorcycle dealers will not let you test ride or demo anything. This guy's here, they seem pretty good. It's a really big dealer, supposedly one of Honda's largest dealers in the world, so whatever. But pretty good guys, straightforward, signed a waiver, just showed him good copy of my license and proof of insurance, and off I go. So but this bike, being the DCT, it is a little bit weird. Right now it's in full automatic mode, but it's just in D, not sport, and it does seem like it shifts so quick. I figured, these roads right here that I rode in on are really bumpy, so that's a good test of the suspension. But yeah, the bike's got a 33.5 inch seat height, and it is 2 position adjustable, and it is in the low position, and at me at 5 foot 10 inches tall with a 32 inch inseam, I can almost flat foot it. I'm about half with both feet, but I really stretch my legs out. I can just about completely flat foot it. So your typical adventure bike riding position, your legs are not at an acute angle, they are more forward in front of you, almost like a mid control rather than rear sets, if that makes sense, where your knees almost 90 degrees down, not a little bit back. And whoa, good test of the brakes. Oh, they work really well. Wow. But I'm just basically going to go up here, just some local roads, and just make a few turns here and there, try not to get lost. And on my way back, I'll just turn on Google Maps and point me back to the dealer. No big deal. But the bike is a nice bike. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's heavy, but for 525 pounds, it does not feel like it at all. The riding position is very comfortable. Your standard adventure bike riding position. The bars are up high and they're wide. Only thing, they're expensive. This is my ongoing review on to see how much the I know the amount of money I want to spend. I know the weight of the bike. I know what I need the bike to be good at and not good at. And this bike's about $4,500 to $5,500 more than the Tenere, and you have to ask yourself, is it worth that? I don't know. I've only been on this bike for just a couple minutes right before I turned the camera on, so can't really tell you that answer so far, but so far feels pretty good. Of course, like most adventure bikes, and like the KTMs, like KTM R models, the front windshield is probably anything above 45 is probably useless, but we'll see. We'll just this is mainly about first impressions more than anything. This is not going to be a review, just a little demo. It's just to get a good idea what the bike's like. I mean, the transmission shifts really fast. We're at 40 miles an hour, we're in 6th gear already. So I believe, if I can actually get away from red lights here, I believe it's a 7-speed, but maybe a 6. I'm not 100% sure. But right now it's in tour mode. The engine braking is not as bad. The power level's turned down, and the bike makes 100 horsepower. Right at it, it's 1100 cc's. It's really smooth. Of course, I haven't got it to really rip on it very much, but even down low, it does feel like, though, in this regular drive mode, it seems like it really wants to lug the motor. It's not shifting very high at all, which is okay. If you're just doing around town stuff, you're not really ripping on it anyway. But if you twist it on up, I mean, it got a little bit of pull to it, even down at low RPM. It doesn't struggle or stutter or anything. It is a little lugging but it doesn't mind to be lugged down low, which is good. That's what you want for the true adventure bike. That's something you're going to be taking off-road, that you want to just be gentle on the power. You know, these bikes, I believe this one that I'm riding has right at 9 inches suspension travel, front and rear. Maybe a little bit more than that, like I said. Don't know all the specs off the top of my head and trying to ride too, but I'll do my best. But you know, the TFT's really, even with a GoPro on, like, I barely even have to dip my eyes or dip my head at all to read it. Of course, that's not looking at the bottom screen, that's looking at the one above, but you know, whatever. But bike, you know, these roads, like I said, are really bumpy, and I don't feel the front end chattering. You know, other than the motor running underneath me, I can't really tell that the roads are rough, which is, it's a good testament to suspension. And these bikes are fully adjustable suspension on the standard model that I'm riding, front and rear. On I believe the front is just compression and rebound and dampening. The back is just preload and dampening, and no compression on the back, I believe. But you know, these bikes in the US, this one I'm riding is, you know, even with a good price, they're 15.5 grand, depending on, you know, if you have to pay dealer fees and if you don't, and all that stuff, and what kind of taxes you have in the area you live in and stuff like that. You know, they're fully LED headlights, turn signals, brake light, everything all the way around. So you know, you get a lot for your money. You know, there's Apple CarPlay on here. Of course, I'm not going to mess with any of that. Those screens are on this particular model really complicated and a lot to go through, and I've seen guys online who do like a 30-minute just overview, and that's not even all the screen, and that's just to give you a general idea of what's going on. Mirrors are good. They don't seem to vibrate, at least if you kept the stock mirrors and didn't put double takes or something on it. I have the left one adjusted horribly, but at least one of them I could see out of. This one on the left is more in the other lane, but that's okay, whatever. At least I can see what's over there. On the right one, I can tell, you know, what's going on, so whatever. Let's try Sport Mode 2. Oh, nope. I tried to hit it twice and it went back into D, so let's just try Sport and see what it does. Yeah, it's Sport 2, but a little tube beside it. And that's holding the bike in gear much longer. Now we're at 4th gear instead of like 5th or 6th, doing 35. And that feels better. It doesn't feel like the motor's lugging as much. And sport mode on the transmission, at least, it's not really a throttle mode on this, it's a DCT. So it's a little different than your average clutch. But what it does, it holds the shifts longer and it downshifts faster. And, you know, so essentially it'd be, you know, if you rode the bike a little aggressive, sport mode would be more to your liking. I don't really ride that aggressive, but I feel like lugging the motor is good for maybe, you know, fuel consumption, but other than that, not really. You know, not really that great of a thing. The brakes are really good though. The front especially, like most motorcycles, are the best, and it's pretty strong, pretty progressive. Like there's a little bit of initial bite and you really have to pull it more to really get it to grab, which is what you want, especially if you ride an adventure bike off-road. This is the 4th adventure bike I've ridden. I've ridden the KTM 790S, not the R, Yamaha Tenere. Recently, about a month ago or a month and a half ago, I rode the Tiger 900. And all 4 of the bikes that I've ridden in adventure, they'll have real progressive brakes. Some are a little more bitey at first, some are a little more progressive at first. But all in all 4 bikes, I'd say, have really good brakes. This one though, you know, like I said, even though it's the most expensive, this is about the same price as a Tiger 900 Rally I rode, you know, that 14 to 15,000 range. And sitting here red light traffic, I mean, it's 75 degrees out here today. Well, bike's at 78, but you know, I don't really feel any engine heat, so to speak of. Not too bad. The exhaust is on the right and it kind of wraps underneath, so maybe that keeps lots of the engine heat away from the rider's leg or the passenger's leg, which is good. That's what you want. It shows average fuel consumption, at least that's the people that are riding it, 42.4, so that's pretty good for 1100cc bike. Makes 100 horsepower. That's not bad. Let's see what sports mode light we take off now. Oh yeah, that's much better. You know, shifting almost 4,000. If you're bopping around town, that's probably what your average rider would shift at. Yeah, but it will move, that's for sure. It is not slow. You know, when you get a little bit of squat and a little bit of bar suspension rise as the bike does this, when you know, roll on it a little bit, a little aggressive, which is good, you know, that way you can loft that front wheel up. But steering, even though I'm having it on a curb road, steering feels with a 21-inch wheel really predictable and linear and progressive. That makes sense to describe it that way. But I'm impressed, you know. I mean, the bike's comfortable. Yes, it has lots of doodads and maybe a little more than what you need. But I feel like as you live with the bike and you get used to all that, you know, does that really stuff matter? It depends. Depends on if you really want that or not. You know, Apple CarPlay, and you can update these bikes as of just a couple months ago. Put Android Auto on there if you're an Android Auto fan. It just requires a little update. Nothing that big of a deal. I'm sure your local dealer could take care of that for you, or if you're more tech savvy, you could do that yourself. Put a little file on an SD card and with a USB reader right here, and you plug it in. That's where you plug your phone in, and you mount your phone up somewhere. Your phone's charged, off you go. So whatever. But we're to some bigger state park that the gentleman here told me about, Battlefield Park. So we're not going to rip on it too much, but you know, overall I'm really impressed. Do I like the bike? Yeah. Would I buy one? Depends on your budget, but I'm really impressed. Of course, you know, a lot of people really compare this bike, say it's too heavy. It depends on how much off-road riding you're really going to do. I don't like where the turn signals are, though. I will say that. You have lots of buttons here on the left, and it's easy to see, but you have to look for it, which I don't particularly like. So, but we're going to whip the bike around and head back to the dealer, and we'll just see. Let's see. Yeah, that's about a 14-minute ride, guys. So I think that's about all on today's ride, first ride. Hopefully y'all like this. If you like this kind of content, please continue to leave a comment down below. If you like the video, subscribe. If you got any questions, I'll do my best to answer them to me on what the bike felt like to me. But it's a good bike. It has lots of stuff here, you know, like I said, and it's pretty complicated layout, but I feel like if you own the bike and you lived it every day, you get used to it. You know, this switch controls what I was talking about. Turn signal is, you have all this stuff here, and you're traditionally going to look, but if you can't memorize where that thumb is, like to go from here to here, because all this is kind of in the way. But this is your plus and minus for your this is your downshift for the DCT. It's a manual. Your upshift is up here. Headlights, talk to speech if you've got it paired to your phone, function. Here's all your RPM. This bike, I forgot to mention, that does have cruise control, ABS, traction control that's adjustable, preload, like I mean, all this adjustable suspension stuff that I said. Can't really ask for any more. It pretty much has it all, other than, you know, built-in GPS, but you can do all that to the screen. So on that, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Let me know if I didn't cover anything. Like I said, this is more of a first a riding impression, more into the spec review. So if you like the video, continue to subscribe for more content on my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.